turn now to the health of the planet and a fundamental question. Walls of water are washing away entire cities. Last year it was in Pakistan, last week Australia, and now Brazil too. What causes these horrible floods? And is it just our imagination, or are they really getting worse than ever before? Here's Jeffrey Koffman with our report.
With her house collapsing around her in the raging floodwaters, rescuers threw a lifeline to this woman in the mountains north of Rio de Janeiro. She grabbed her dog and with a leap of faith plunged into the surging waters. The rope held, but she couldn't hold on to the dog. As neighbors urged her on, she was raised to safety. Not far away, firefighters cheered as a baby boy was rescued from the mud. Two bright moments in what has been a grim week of floods around the world. Floods of, well, biblical proportions. What is going on with all that water? The images of the flash floods in Brazil are truly apocalyptic. At least 400 people are dead. The worst natural disaster in Australia's history has left much of Brisbane underwater. In Sri Lanka, 1 million people are homeless because of floods. And in Germany, a tanker loaded with sulfuric acid capsized today in the swollen, fast-moving waters of the Rhine River, where unseasonably warm January weather has caused a midwinter melt.
We're observing the climate changing. It's happening. It's real. It's a scientific fact.
Remember 2010? Many would rather forget it. It was the wettest year on record around the world, and it was tied for the warmest year on record. There were those floods in Pakistan that covered a fifth of that country's landmass and dislocated a staggering 20 million people. There was a searing 2-month summer heat wave in Russia that killed 15,000 people, and in the U.S., record snowfalls in the east last winter, followed by record heat in the summer.
Is there something here that sets off the alarms?
Well, certainly we do expect with global warming to see extreme rainfalls become more extreme and more frequent. However, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to pin any single event wholly on climate change.
You've probably heard of La Niña, the periodic cooling of the waters of the Pacific. It can cause chaos in Australia and Asia, and right now it is. Officially, 15 people are dead. But soldiers today combed the mud of flash floods to look for dozens more who are missing. And at one horse farm alone, 80 horses drowned. This is the swollen Brisbane River this week. That is a floating beer garden. Or it was. Those boats didn't fare much better. The only good news, the river didn't crest as high as expected, and now it is going down. And for some, that was reason for a celebration, Australian style. Scientists tell us it is too soon to know if the past year's extreme weather has been an aberration, but they add there is increasing evidence that this is the climate of years to come. I'm Jeffrey Koffman for Nightline in London.